Hey everybody, welcome to GT Live. My name is Brandon Jones. I will be your host. I'm joined by Mr. Kyle Bossman.
Hey buddy.
Who likes to chat in the community.
Love to
and
chat.
get questions for our guests. Unfortunately, we do not have a code today to give out. Not at least one code. But it is worth noting that Ian made an RPG on Monday and handed that out for free.
I did,
Yeah. So there you go. There's a free game you can play right now
But
with an excellent soundtrack, I
But
might
still
add.
send us questions.
But we still want your questions.
Yes, absolutely.
For our guest, Paola Alejandra.
Sí, hi.
Sí, hello.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Cómo están?
You are all sorts of things. I'm actually very excited to have you on as a guest because there's all sorts of stuff we can talk about. You're a streamer, you're a YouTuber, you are a host, you are a cosplayer,
Yeah, I do.
you are a gamer extraordinaire.
Thank you. I just dabble in a lot of things and try to kind of do my best, I guess. I don't know.
Well, one of the things that I didn't dabble with for a long time, we'll get to Daniel Bloodworth in a second. He's playing a game in the background. Is I didn't usually go to events. I usually stayed in the office a lot, and
Okay.
since I took on the role of editor-in-chief, I've gone to a lot of events, and you are at a lot of these events.
I am.
So I think it was like the 10th time I bumped into you. It's like, let's get you on GT Live and
Oh,
we'll talk
thank
about
you.
the fun year that we had. We are playing Attractio, which you can
Also
currently
known
get
as
on
Dirty
Steam.
Portal.
Also
Dirty
known,
Portal.
we have dubbed it Dirty Portal, because it is a chapter-based kind of like test chamber physics puzzle game. You can see a little inverting that Bloodworth's doing there.
Yeah.
Bloodworth it doesn't have the headphones on, so are you going by subtitles?
Yeah.
How is the sound in the game? Is it like creepy? Nothing?
Not a clue.
Not a clue.
Not a
Turn
clue.
it on over here. So.
There's a little bit of
Haven't heard
story.
it.
There's some character art we saw pop up, some
Marathon
cutscenes.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of different influences.
Running
I'm
Man.
curious how this game is going to evolve, and if Mr. Bloodworth ends up just being stuck in a puzzle for hours on end, that'd be really great.
How many puzzles have you solved, Blood?
I've been through like 4 or 5 levels.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Progress.
He's moving right along. Yeah, look at this.
Curious how long the game is.
It's
Yeah, I'm
just
curious if
now,
we're gonna make.
it's just now getting to points where I'm like, what's happening?
I think the
Making
ultimate
you
test.
use your cerebrals.
The ultimate test is if Blood feels like he's got about halfway or more than halfway through this game by the end of the stream. Is he gonna keep playing? Is he gonna think, I got so close. I might as well finish the game.
Can I make a bet right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think there's
Okay.
no way Blood plays more of this game after today.
I am not gonna take that bet.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on your side. We'll see if anybody in chat is willing to take that bet.
But I was like discovering a new game. You know, we did not know about this game until it came out. It's just one of those things. So, you know, you're watching Blood discover this game, which I think is kind of fun.
We got new guest. We got new game.
Yeah.
It's a very fresh episode of GT Live today. We got
Fresh.
Ian Hank in the booth on the TriCaster. What's up, Ian?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Nothing. Let me do this. There we go.
Yeah.
Ooh, fancy.
How's it going?
Speaking of fancy, you guys were talking about nail polish earlier,
That
We were.
yeah.
comparing them nails. We were pointing out that Ian's got fancy nails, but Pal's got the Nightmare on Elm Street nails.
No, they're called stiletto, remember?
Right.
Yeah, but they're very witchy. I don't know. They're just fun.
But if some
They're
thug
addicting.
approached you in a dark alley, I mean, you would just be full
Yo,
on.
he's done.
You'd immediately
he's
get in there
fucking
with the
dead.
nails,
Go for
gouge
the
the eyes
eyes.
out. So let's talk about the stuff that you do. So I mean, if you could,
What do I do?
I mean, like as I mentioned before, there's the YouTube video making, the streaming,
Yeah,
the
the
hosting,
streaming.
the cosplay.
I've been really just focusing on esports lately.
Cool.
I just hosted the Red Bull Clash Course tournament with Destiny, which was great to see Destiny in a competitive environment, and that was a lot of fun because this was some of the best Destiny players I've ever seen. So I know, there's controversy between Destiny. We could probably have a whole show about it.
Let's do it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, does it hold up as like an esport?
Interesting enough, a lot of people in the chat were really confused because you would think PvP would be what you would want to see, but until Destiny supports that and private matchmaking, we might not see it. I'm hoping that that's the case, hopefully for Destiny 2, that would be something great to look forward to. But the PvE was interesting because, there were timed strike matches, and these kids, man, they're in college and they're studying and competing for the first time in a competitive circuit. So it was cool to see them go through that, but it was also cool to see these Destiny players break through strikes faster than I could even imagine. Something that takes me 10, even 20 minutes because I just suck sometimes, or I'm having a slow night, and they do it in less than 5 minutes. You're like, what the hell was that?
Are they allowed to bring whatever loot they want into the competition?
Yes, so they were like allowed to bring their class and their individual guardian there, and whatever they had equipped. So I'm sure some of them were grinding for particular weapons. Some of weapons like that I was actually curious of how they would work in a strike match. They were able to use, and I think what the community really, really liked is that you got to see some great plays and try this kind of out with your own fire teams, and see how you get through a strike fast, so you don't have to be grinding there for a long time. So, cool.
As a host of an esports event, how do you prepare for something like that? Like, I know there's some killer, if you guys check and just go, you don't have to go deep into the pictures that you have up on your Twitter account, but there's an awesome Destiny cosplay in there.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you
that's
obviously
fun.
have an affinity for the series. I've heard
do.
you just kind of bring it up casually. Andre Renee is also a big Destiny fan, I know.
Yeah, we play her. She's on my fire team, so we play together. We've done raids, we've done strikes, we've done. She's not a big PvP player, but I'm more PvP. So I just love the game. But the cosplay thing came kind of out of nowhere because I had an individual from MTV call me and they were like, "Hey, are you going to San Diego Comic-Con?" And I was like, "Yeah." Are you cosplaying? Yeah. I had nothing. I had no costume. This was like right before E3, right before Anime Expo, all these events that I had. You know how crazy it is.
Right,
Like
yeah,
you,
the summer's
you don't,
fun.
Yeah. So we finished, my partner and I, we finished it in 2 weeks. She had a hunter and I had a warlock, and we banged it out in 2 weeks, and it almost killed me.
Wow.
But it was fun. It was challenging. I don't recommend it unless you take the time and time it out properly. But
So do you think you know so much about Destiny that you could go in and host any Destiny esports event just at the drop of a hat, or was there any kind of prep work you did before this one?
I think with any hosting, it's always good to prep. It's always good to do your homework, and it's always good to look at the players, take notes, see, ask questions that are relevant, to strike conversation with the casters and in the chat. So I don't think that any host out there just goes out there to just wing it. Sometimes there's situations, if there's a tech issue, you kind of have to go wing it. But in that most part, you got to know your stuff, and I think sometimes the community can be a little salty seeing females out there, but we're totally trickling in, and we're trying to prove ourselves that we want to be here. We love competitive gaming as much as anybody else. So yeah.
So why pancakes? This never came up.
Oh,
We've had lots of
pancakes.
conversations this last
It's
year.
like the most boringest story. I wish I had a cool story.
Well, let's get the boring stories out of the way.
Okay, all right. Well, literally, it just started as my gamer tag on Xbox. It was Baby Pancakes, it still is, and pancakes just became like an inside joke within my community, and then outside with my friends, so people would be like, "Oh, I was so hammered last night, I was walking around like a pancake." You just use it in any term, I ate so much last night, I'm a pancake. It just started becoming everyday language, and then I don't know how, but people just started calling me Pancake, and then Pancake Pow just kind of was born, and that was my website turned everything else, I guess.
But what was the origin? What's the root of Baby Pancakes?
I don't know. It just one day someone said pancake, and it just kind of
And you were like, I'll make that my gamer tag?
yeah. It was
I'll
just
commit
weird.
that to my own identity.
Yes.
It's Baby Pancakes.
And I love pancakes. I mean,
Okay.
I'm kind of obsessed with them. I can't.
I would
eat-
hope so.
Oh God, I've probably done over 200 recipes of pancake, and this was before all of this. I just love them. Protein pancakes. There's
Now, how do you
breakfast
get to
pancakes.
200?
Because like I said, I have food allergies.
Uh-huh.
Before I knew I had food allergies, I used to make the most fattiest pancakes I could find, in terms of recipe. And then I found out I was allergic to wheat.
So you had to get creative.
So I had to get creative. So paleo pancakes are kind of my jam, and protein pancakes, they feed me.
Is
I
there's
just add
meat
bacon
in
it.
it?
Huh?
There's meat in the pancakes?
No, protein powder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When I hear paleo, I just think of there's a steak. And so I was imagining some sort of weird
Nuts
steak pancake.
and
Pancake
nuts.
steak.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I've been choosing a healthier lifestyle. Misconception, gamers, they think we eat pizza 24/7. I wish, but we can't. I can't. I'm allergic to cheese, unfortunately. It's the saddest
When do you
thing.
eat? How often do you eat pizza, Kyle?
I eat a lot of pizza. I eat so much pizza.
You're 90% pizza.
Oh, I'm sludge. I'm sludge.
So
That's cool.
So you hosted the Destiny event. We chatted a little bit before the show
Yeah.
started, and you mentioned you like the pew pew, you like the shooters.
I love the FPSs. I love RPGs. I love open worlds. I love puzzly games. I kind of love everything, you know.
Wow.
I just dabble. Sometimes I stream and we're like, guys, I have this game. It's weird, and let's just try it. Let's just go for it. And sometimes, because I do drink whiskey during my streams, the weirdest, funniest things happen. And I don't know. I commentary, like I'm doing almost like commentary over the gameplay. I guess that's what streaming is, right? So I just started streaming, actually, to be quite honest. So I'm kind of a newbie, like, you know, into the Twitch world. So it's fun. I can see why it's so addicting and how you're able to connect with people. So that's what we're doing.
I hear that. I hear connecting with people via Twitch is a good thing to do. You know, it's like set up something, bring in some people that you know but you don't know that well, introduce them to your community. We should try that.
Oh, we should give it a shot eventually, I guess.
We're still just getting started, you know, on Twitch.
Hey.
So how do you pick a game? Do you just like kind of see what's on Steam? I mean, do you?
I go
you
through
get stuff from your
phases.
followers?
Sometimes, like, I have to get my like FPS fix out of the way usually, and it's like in a rotation between like Destiny, you know, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, and soon we're gonna have the Division in there, and so it's just gonna be this rotation of like how and what has the momentum, and then I'll get tired and I'll be like, I need Fallout. Like, I need like a couple hours of Fallout, and then I'll be like, oh, fuck this. I can't deal. I'm not getting in an elevator, and, you know, go play something else, you know? And it just depends, I guess, in the mood. It's like wine, you know, or whiskey, like what I'm in the mood for. So.
Not a big heavy liquor guy. Usually stick to the beer, which is unfortunately you can't drink.
I miss beer, man.
And there's not a lot of drinkers on the stage. Ian don't drink.
I don't
You
know if
don't
I've
drink.
ever
Kyle
heard
drink.
someone say I'm not a liquor guy, though.
I'm just not a liquor guy.
Huh.
And my brother
You
is
are
a
a pizza-
certified mixologist. My brother actually went to school to be a
Oh.
bartender.
And you said, no
Fancy.
thanks, man.
And I was like, I'm fine.
Does he make you
I'm good with
drinks
the beer.
like when you guys
Yeah.
are together? Ooh.
We get together for family events and stuff like that. So
Ian has
Fancy.
an
kind of lived through
update.
him. Oh, ew.
I just wanted to say that the liquors are one of the better enemies in
Oh my
Resident
God.
Evil.
I'm familiar with those.
Why do we
Okay.
do it?
I've done
Liquor guy.
those liquors many times.
So I'll do a little behind the scenes right now. Ian does this. So we see off camera, we see Ian just with a blinker above his head.
I kind of like the forehead. I like roll
Yeah,
it
but
up against his
the
forehead
monitors
sometimes.
are too high now, so you can't see
Get the
me.
light.
So-
Boris Karloff double jointed move.
Normally that means something important's about to happen, but now he just really wanted to make a liquor joke.
Well, it's just because in this show, Brandon refuses to wear the headphones. So
Oh, I got
they can
you.
never
Yeah.
hear when I'm trying to say. So, like, I've done.
Can't
a
hear the
bunch of
telltale,
things-
the engine, the
Yeah.
fan noise. Like, oh.
I've done a bunch of times where I'm like, oh, hey, this, and then you just keep talking, and I'm like, it's really awkward for the listener. And the viewer.
I just try to look good on the show. You appreciate that, pal, right? I mean, you know.
I like to clean up.
you
I like to
clearly-
wash. I wash my hair for
You
you
can
guys.
try.
Thanks, appreciate it.
and all the
You
colors
cle-
in there.
Yeah, there's colors. Like, what's happening? I don't know. I let her go crazy this time.
I mean, you clearly have what Kyle doesn't. What is it called? Style. So I mean, you really want to focus on putting your best foot forward, and so
Everyone's laughing.
All right.
I think you have style.
No, I don't have style. It's fine. I don't have style.
Kyle's disgusting. It's all right.
but you just you put a whole ensemble together, and then you just put big
Honestly,
headphones on
I
top,
wear
the
I wear
finishing touch.
black 24/7. Like my
Amen.
closet is just black, and this is probably my only thing that's color. So it works.
Chad will tell you, I don't have any colored shirts. I mostly do black.
Black.
Boom, there it is.
Black on black.
Yeah, we're predictable.
Yeah, I'm predictable.
But we found something that works, and we want to stick to it. So we're also talking a little bit about your show. So you have would you call it a podcast?
I
Is
have a
that your show?
podcast called Gamer Girls Gone Wild. I know the name's a little like, ooh, but literally it's just a play on words. And we invite people from the industry, from cosplay to video games to comics, anyone like who just wants to dabble in conversation about life and whiskey and food and travel. And sometimes things get, chill. Sometimes things get deep, and it's a podcast, so it's like an hour-run show, and we just have a lot of fun. And I have an announcement coming up really soon about the podcast, but I can't say it's kind of a big deal. So we're gonna be announcing it like this week on Friday.
An announcement of an announcement.
Of an announcement.
I got really excited
gotta
there.
build it up.
I thought she was
man.
gonna do it.
Yeah, where do people go for the announcements?
You can go to my Twitter,
Oh,
Pancake
okay.
Pow.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a whole thing, and it's gonna be a big deal because there's like a transition. So that's a big thing, as a show. When there's a transition, it means something big.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to share.
It sounds like it's something very big.
It is. It's kind of big.
Like
Wow.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is coming.
Oh fuck, man! I saw him drive one time on Santa Monica Boulevard, and I almost crashed my car because I was
coming like straight
how
at
can
you?
you
Well,
or was
because
it like,
he was like next
did
to
you,
me
like,
in the
rev
next.
up
Like, oh
next
no,
to
it was
him?
definitely him because he was in a Bentley, and I was just like, and I almost crashed my car just like because I just wanted to be like, I don't know, I wanted to roll down my window because it's Tom Hanks, but he just looked too cool and
What was his expression?
cool. Just same face that you imagine in your head.
Well, see, no, I'm imagining him kind of like a goofy smile as he drives his Bentley, like this. Was it anything like
Like
that?
big?
No, not even big.
Okay, that's pretty good Tom Hanks.
Well, no, what was his? Was
Thank you
it
for the
that?
close-up on that, Ian. I appreciate it.
I remember he was just, I think he was talking on the phone because he was like talking,
Oh,
but he
okay,
wasn't like
sure.
on the phone. It was like some awesome speaker system probably in
Absolutely,
his car.
he's Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like he was talking to himself, but I was just kind of like rubbernecking, just couldn't help it. I was like, that's Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And I don't really get starstruck. We live in LA, we see all sorts of people, but
All the time.
Tom,
Yeah.
Favorite Tom Hanks film?
League of Their Own.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When he was the drunk coach, he like stole my heart there. There's that one. God, there's a lot of Tom Hanks. I mean, Forrest.
There is a
Gump
lot of Tom
We
Hanks.
can go through this whole show just Tom Hanks.
What was the turning point? What was the last like silly movie Tom Hanks made before he made? Was Forrest Gump like the first drama
No.
that he did? Maybe not the first
'cause he-
drama.
he did
I mean,
primarily
he did like
comedies
he did
up
like
to that point,
Mazes
you
and
mean?
Monsters back in the
sure,
day.
like
Mazes
Splash-
and Monsters, if you guys
Splash
haven't.
is another one, and I get really surprised when people are like, "Oh, I've never seen that," because you got like Daryl Hannah, you got Tom Hanks, and
John
it's-
Candy.
Oh, John Candy.
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable movie. I love that movie.
I remember I had like an epiphany one day where I was like, oh, what if you made a movie where a guy falls in love with a mermaid? I can't believe no one's ever made that. Oh, never mind. On to the next idea. the movie Splash. It
Wait.
just totally just evaporated from
How
my
long
brain.
ago did you have that moment?
That was about 5 or 6 years ago. That was a ways back. But I was so happy. I was like, oh man, wouldn't that make a really gripping narrative?
No,
It did.
No, it wouldn't.
No,
it
it
wouldn't. No.
That's a bad idea for a movie.
It's a bad
even
idea for
before
a
they
movie.
made the movie.
Not a fan? Maybe a
You
unicorn?
were so mad that
Maybe a
somebody
guy falls in
took
love with a
it.
unicorn, maybe? A troll, perhaps?
Yo, some people are saying
fairy,
in the
maybe?
chat, Philadelphia. Philadelphia was deep.
Sure.
Philadelphia was deep, but Philadelphia was after Forrest Gump. So I'm trying to figure out like what that
Was it?
when we moved away from Bachelor, Splash, Turner and
What's,
Hooch, Tom Hanks.
All right, so what's the movie where he's a stand-up comedian?
Stand up? I don't know.
Stand-up comedian?
Yeah, he's a stand-up comedian.
Wow,
Okay.
tangent, you guys.
No,
Poor
no, no.
Blood is over there
But
suffering.
I
through this
think
puzzle
that was
game.
that was
He's
it.
in
We're
Dirty
talking about Tom
Portal.
Hanks.
Because he had to play a stand-up comedian and he had to be funny, but also like there's dramatic turns.
That's the Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci. Oh, that's
yes.
an
His hair is like this.
amazing
Yeah.
movie.
I was thinking of Da Vinci Code.
Speaking of Poor Blood alone there on the couch.
Are you okay over there?
We have staffers at GT are dropping like flies, man. So I got a text from Mike Huber this morning, sick, not coming in.
Yeah.
Aw.
Brad Ellis midday, sick, taking off. Couple hours before we even start the show, I start to feel the sinuses clogging up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still came here. I don't care if I get Kyle sick.
I'm very healthy.
But the only person to come in, other than Ben Moore, who is extremely busy at the moment, was Mr. Daniel Bloodworth, who's going to play this puzzle game that he did not know existed until today.
Dirty Portal.
How has your opinion evolved of Dirty Portal so far? AKA Attractio.
It's just there's a lot I keep track of. There's like 3 different characters. They've all kind of had different abilities, although now this guy has the boots that the Martian girl had.
Boots. huh?
Yeah, so that I can show you over here. They allow you to like flip from
Ooh.
ceiling to the floor like that. But then there's also this gun, which I'm trying to get one that's in there.
Well, go get
They
it.
don't call it a gravity gun.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're
They
a.
call it a shifter gun.
Are you a woman?
No, the Martian was the woman. This guy is he's from like the slums of South sector of Earth or
You're wearing
something.
special shoes. You're trying to get a puzzle gun. I don't know. You're going through test chambers.
Exactly.
It's not
Well,
just
this
a,
whole
it's
thing's
a reality show. Yeah.
There's also
There's that.
there's also the convict from Jupiter.
Mr. Ian Hank, what's up?
Important correction.
Oh,
Sure.
Philadelphia was the year before Forrest Gump.
Was it really?
Yeah, 93, and then Forrest Gump is 94.
Thank very important correction.
Okay,
Everyone is in chat today. Ian's in chat. Pao is in chat. We actually don't get that a lot. We don't get a lot of people.
There's sick trailers. I'm probably gonna get sick now too. That's all right.
I think yeah.
I
I'm
feel
over-
fine.
Automatically, as soon as you walk in the doors, boom, plague.
You just said you're new to Twitch, but I mean your infatuation with chat. I think that's a good thing.
Well,
I think,
I always like to see kind of, if anyone's got interesting questions and funny things to, talk about and kind of pull from.
So she answers one of those questions, Kyle. You got to kill it right away.
I'll kill it,
You got to
absolutely.
be on top of
Yeah.
her going through chat. She's policing
Chat
your work,
hype.
basically.
Kyle, how does it feel being the Elise of the group?
It's all right.
It feels okay. It's not bad to be the Elise. You just know
What
your
the hell
role.
does that mean?
I think it's when Brandon said I have no sense of fashion. I think that was like I think that pinned me down as the Elise.
Wow.
You can have a bad sense of fashion.
Yeah.
I think you
Said
have a sense
no
of fashion.
sense of fashion.
Okay.
Right?
Sorry?
Actually, you wear suits to the office more than I do, so
Yeah.
I'm completely on the line
Yeah,
here.
I know when to dress up.
He does. He gets really styling for a show. I'll be honest.
We're talking
So-
about extremist groups now.
So
Wait, really, Blood, what's the plot right now?
I mean, the plot is I'm in a reality show, but for some reason I got a little data stick or something about extremist groups. I don't know.
ooh, subplots.
Subplots.
But yeah, so there's this crazy mechanic where, so like, see these guys, their gravity is to like go towards the wall, but then if you step on them, your weight will allow you to go down the wall safely without killing yourself.
Excuse
wow.
me?
Whoa.
There you go.
Oh, and then you have to time it. You're gonna have to boost off this wall at the right moment.
Yeah,
Yep.
so this is the part that I'm not quite sure I get yet.
Can you throw one across the way?
That's a real high octane wall.
I think, I think I need to be holding one while I ride the
While
other.
you're writing,
Yeah.
and then use your.
Because I need to get one to stop right here in the middle of this red box.
3 hours after
And
this
then I need
episode,
another one
viewers
to
gonna
get
be like,
down
"Man,
safely."
that wall slide, you guys. Do you remember that?
Remember it always.
Remember when Blood was all like, "Oh,
3
thank you,
hours
Blood. I
after
appreciate
the
you."
stream is done, he'll still be wall sliding down there.
Aw.
Blood, has your recent experience with a witness helped or hindered your experience with the Tractio right now?
I think they're different. I mean, there's different mechanics going on here for sure. This is definitely more of a Half-Life Portal style thing.
Can I
Yep.
just say that it is a crime that any of us have to be doing anything other than playing the witness right now?
Exactly.
I'm hearing
Play
pretty
the
good things.
witness.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one of my
Stop watching this and play the witness.
I think
I
one
was
of
playing
my
it this morning.
I think one of my favorite things about the
Your
witness
morning
is
was awesome.
I see people on social media a lot that are just like, "Yeah, witness is okay, but like, God, I've been at this puzzle for like 3 hours. It's really pissing me off." And then like 2 seconds later, they're like, "Never mind, got it." I'm just like, "Whoa!" Like,
Yeah.
like right at that moment where they give up or they're so frustrated they have to go to social media to say something. That's when they actually step away from it and like,
Of course.
"Oh,
I mean, that's how troubleshooting tech works too.
yeah, just
You
go
know.
go
Walk
walk
away,
your dog." Yeah.
Walk away. Come
Well,
back.
no. You
Go get a
tell
soda.
somebody of the problem, and then suddenly the program fixes itself, and
Right.
it's not a problem anymore.
True.
So yeah, so Blake is really frustrated with the Tractio. He'll just come up and sit next to you, pal, and then
Aw.
all of a sudden he'll just light bulb and
Light
he'll go run
bulb.
over.
How'd
and
you
check
do?
it out.
So you started playing this morning. When do you stop? When do you say I'm done playing the witness for the day?
I think I was just kind of out of time because I had like other stuff that I had to do. But I'm gonna probably continue it tonight on the stream just because some people have already been asking me about it. But yeah, it's just I like puzzles and I like cerebral games that kind of test you. But I am like that too, where if I get frustrated, I'm like, okay, I need to go and take the dog for a walk, or I don't know, just not look at this screen.
And you
anymore.
can't do that when it's live.
You can, but I think you just have to kind of take a break and maybe like engage with the chat for a little while and just not look at the screen. Maybe go in intermission mode or something and just chill out and not look at it.
What is intermission mode?
I think that's when I do like more like Q&As and people ask me questions about the game if I missed it during the chat, and I like to go back and if they have any questions I try to answer.
That's
Does that
funny.
sound good?
Yeah, I think that's actually like a good tip that I should do. Because sometimes I'll just get very mad at a game, and I will just keep running into that wall over and over and over
Yeah.
without ever just saying, you know what, I need to time out, everybody. Let's talk for a second.
Yeah.
I like that idea. That's all right.
You kind of got to do that. I think your brain, that's how it works. It starts, memorizing things and seeing things a little different once you stop looking at the screen.
Yeah.
So, That's just
My
two
favorite
cents.
is I'm playing Lego Marvel's Avengers right now, which
Alright.
is no Witness, but I will get stuck in this game regardless, just like Witness. And one of my favorite things is if you're playing like a platforming game, a platforming puzzle game, and you're like trying to work on some invisible wallish portion or something, and you're doing something is wrong. This cannot be the answer, but you still do it for like 20 minutes. I love that. That's my favorite. You're just like, there's no way the designer wanted me to balance this thing here and then try to get through this one corner between the trees here.
But it feels so good if you do it.
You think you're onto
It feels
something,
so
yeah.
good. Yeah.
But
I
that
get
never
feeling.
happens,
Absolutely,
unfortunately.
I get that feeling.
Really quick before we get to the midpoint of the show, we're going to talk about our countdown for the week.
Yes.
It's been an exciting couple weeks for countdowns because we were talking about all of the things we're anticipating in 2016, and we actually just got the final list earlier today, where we tallied up all of the votes from you guys for the top 10 anticipated games from our community of 2016. And so this was interesting because usually when we pick a number 11, which we talk about on GT Live, it's just our dumb opinions that just kind of like pushed that off the list. It's usually maybe sometimes after we've picked 10 that we kind of look at the stragglers and think like, what's 11 off this list? Like what almost made it? Where this is actually numerically by math.
Mathematically,
Number
correct.
11.
Number 11.
And there are lots of fun games that we did not pick for a countdown that you guys made sure to put on your countdown. But one game that did not make our top 10 anticipated and did not make yours as well was Doom.
Doom.
The Return of Doom.
Ian was right on that reveal. Good
Doom.
job.
Yeah, I kicked its ass just now.
Yeah, you got we got a good 8 minutes of gameplay to go through here.
Yeah.
We got a ton of Doom at Bethesda's press event before E3.
Yeah, so can we talk about this actually? Because this is something that bugs me.
Okay.
Coming into E3, GameTrailers.com said Doom was their most anticipated game of E3. Okay? Then they come out, they blow us away with this video.
Yeah.
It's not in our top 10 games of E3. It's not our top 10 most anticipated. What happened to you personally, Brandon?
Well, shows are funny. Like,
Yeah.
when we give, I think our two big awards moments of the year are, Game of the Year and Best of E3. Those are like the time where we really try to get together and figure out like what is the best of a collection of games.
Yeah.
And those are two completely different awards. Like if you're awarding like Best of the Year, it's like we've all had a ton of time with this game. This is based on our experience. Like we don't want anybody weighing an opinion that has not actually played this game. Whereas going to E3, none of us have played this game.
Yeah.
So you bring in, how it's going to be packaged, if we're going to see gameplay, what kind of trailers we're going to get, what press conference is going to be at, is it going to be playable at the show? If so, what portion of the game is playable? Just kind of how is that game perceived at this actual event? And so when you talk about anticipation for a year versus anticipation for an event, they are different things. So saying that we're not anticipating or that this didn't make our top 10 anticipated of the year doesn't necessarily mean like we're not excited for Doom anymore.
I don't know what else they could have done, man.
Well, that's the thing is what else can they do now?
Oh,
that
sure.
also factors into anticipation.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
If you have something like Persona 5 or you have something like Final Fantasy 15, there's all sorts of stuff. We just got a couple screenshots of 15 this week. You're like, oh man, look at this. Look at these new environments and new monsters and wow, like I wonder what's going on in this scene. Whereas if you were to see a screenshot from Doom, I could tell you what's going on. There's bullets flying out of a gun at something that's screaming at you and blood and fire. And, it's like,
Sure.
And necessarily being, I wouldn't say one note, but kind of being predictable or
Yeah.
kind of following a tried and true formula for Doom isn't necessarily bad. It's just something that, like Rainbow Six, which was previously our E3 game of the show, it doesn't necessarily have a lot to show now. But man, at that one event, they really brought it. Ian with the hand in the air.
So if I'm hearing you right, you're saying that first-person shooters are inherently uninteresting.
Wow.
I don't know
That's
about
one way to sum it
that.
up.
I don't know
As
about
someone who
that.
likes shooters, maybe you can defend me, pal.
Well, remember when we saw this, we were all like freaking out and literally like we just needed a table to flip and because we were all really excited. But it just shows you trailers can be kind of deceiving,
Oh, yeah, very deceiving.
And you could I could see it now and I'm like, this is not the same game to me in my eyes of what
Compared to old Doom or compared to
I think
versions of this Doom you've seen?
Yes,
Oh,
of
okay.
this version. I don't know. Maybe perhaps I'll be swayed once I play it some more. But I almost like forgot about Doom. Like it's weird to say, but that's a problem. If it's not on your radar,
And our community almost forgot about Doom. We actually had, 11 is still pretty high on the list as far as all the games people mentioned, right? Do you know?
Yeah, there's like 96 games that people brought
There you
up.
go. 96 games.
Wow.
96 games that people voted on that Daniel Bloodworth had to sift through. Bummed we didn't go to 100. You couldn't just have 4 more? 100 games.
That's really interesting.
But also kind of
actually,
speaks to how crazy this year is.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, in all seriousness, Ian, like when you say that, it depends on whether we're talking about the game actually being good or what more you can show us from that game versus us just playing it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I think that's the point we're at the point now where it's like I don't necessarily need to see another 10-minute demo of Doom. I would just rather play Doom.
Right.
Whereas
I
a
was-
10-minute demo of Persona 5 for Final Fantasy 15, bring it.
I was just throwing gasoline on a non-situation. You know?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think I agree. Like, I can't be excited. Like, I wasn't really excited for Doom in the first place, but like No Man's Sky, right? I can't be more excited for that game.
Yeah, you
it just
peaked.
needs to come out now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done waiting for this game. It's just gotta
Well,
come
talk
out.
about PR. They're doing some serious like kind of ghost telling here and not really giving anyone anything. And here we are, hyped as fuck.
Right.
About it. We're like, when is this No Man's Sky coming out?
Right.
But it's true. I think with how they've been promoting it, says a lot.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like I don't think a lot of games come out. A lot of people are really committed to one outlet over another. It's like I get my reviews from GameSpot, IGN, Games Radar, game trailers, and
I get my news from game trailers.
you get your reviews.
Oh, reviews. Okay, I thought you said news.
You get your news from GT Times, where you get your news.
Sure, I mean, some people probably.
Tomorrow on GameTrailers.com.
Okay.
But I don't think one video of No Man's Sky is going to be enough from anyone. Like I think
Oh, yeah, you gotta play
if
the
someone
game.
if someone hasn't played that game and they're kind of on the fence, like I see that first week after launch being very interesting. I see the opinion just like a roller coaster of that game going up and down based on like, yeah, but I saw this one stream and it was amazing. This thing that happened to this guy, bumped into another player, and this whole dynamic fight that they had with ships and everything. And talking to a friend at school, and it's like, cool. I watched the guy play last night, and nothing happened for 5 hours.
One can only hope.
Nothing.
One can only hope, It looks
Yeah.
beautiful. It's in concept, it's mind-blowing what
Yeah.
they're trying to accomplish. But like you said, until we get our hands on it and see how we can push I'm notorious for breaking games. Like, if you go to my streams, I break games all the time.
Bloodworth likes to break games.
Hello.
Yeah, what do you mean, like
you were on a
escape
run
game?
there
Like,
for a
I
while.
literally will find the one part in the map that will take you into the black hole.
Cool.
And I'm like, guys, we broke another one. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. And I'm ready to get my paws on that game and, like, go to some fucking place in the universe and, like, breed things. Or I don't know what the hell I can do, but I'm going to try to figure it out.
Isn't that a great personal sense of victory when you go through the map and you see the map just falling away like above you? You're
Yeah.
like, I did it. I found that corner hit.
I broke one of Don's levels. We'll see that now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I do want to I want to hype up this countdown though. I think it's better than Game Trailer's countdown. This most anticipated list.
Whoa.
I saw the results. You, the voters, did a better job than the staff of GameTrailers.com.
Of picking the definitive,
Yes.
according
Oh
to
my
Kyle.
God.
Yeah.
Damn, shots fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually it's good. I really like it.
Because our anticipated list isn't one person's opinion; it's all of
Right.
us getting together. So I don't think any one employee of Game Trailers would be happy of the final, with the final list that we picked because
Yeah.
it is a collective opinion.
But I can say this one employee
If you're
is
so bold to
happy
say
with
so,
the
Kyle.
countdown of the one that
All
the
right.
fans made.
I got a badass trailer to show these guys.
Oh, okay.
Some weeks, I'll be honest, I don't want to call any trailers out, but some weeks I'm like, God, why did I call it badass trailer? Because this trailer's kind of badass. I don't know.
So,
This trailer's.
Can we see a problem right here? This is the problem
Uh-oh.
I have with this game.
Uh-oh.
This is a glass wall. You can't tell
Uh-oh.
it's a glass wall.
'Cause it's dirty
from any
portal.
angle.
Yeah,
everything
you
like
can,
that.
you can tell it's a
Portal.
glass wall. You can't go through it.
That's the only way.
You smash through it?
That's how you know it's glass.
Oh my god.
Shoot
Anyways.
the glass.
Badass trailer.
Oh yeah, we got a badass trailer. How do you like to start GT time, Kyle?
I like to start with a game announcement.
I got a game announcement for you. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan. You want a long title? You got a long title. Debuted. This trailer is only 1 minute and 38 seconds long. Minute 38, and it feels a lot longer. They did
It's
a lot
fun.
in just a minute 38. Badass trailer. Check it out.
Patience is the greatest virtue of a conqueror. For years, we've been hiding in the shadows, observing the city and biding our time. When dawn breaks tomorrow, the city will awaken to new rulers. Tonight, the Foot Clan emerges. Tonight, the war begins.
This is bad, guys. Really, really bad.
They want a war? We'll give them a war. Well, well, talk about a stupid fish out of water. Awesome! Yeah, time to smash some shells.
The Tom Hanks movie.
Punchline.
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 You thought I made it up? I saw your comments. It's a real
They thought
movie.
you made it up, really? I didn't think you made it up.
Do yourself a
I forgot
favor.
Sally Field was in it.
Go
though.
to imdb.com,
Love Sally
type in
Field.
punchline,
1988.
88,
Stand-up
and just
comedian.
embrace how correct I was.
So after Forrest Gump,
You know what I dislike so much is like when someone's just like, you mean this other movie starring Robert De Niro? It's like, no, yeah, that is another movie, but I didn't mean that. Oh boy, okay. Well, there we go, punchline. Check it out. It's weird. It's honestly, I can't recommend the movie. It takes a weird turn where Tom Hanks starts like falling in love with Sally Field, and it's like, this is not appropriate.
That's what you should have said. Should have rolled down your window. Loved you in Punchline.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No one ever brings up Punchline.
That was
And then
my
you'd
turn.
have lunch with them, and then you'd be best friends with Tom Hanks.
That was my dramatic turn.
Can you imagine? It's my dream.
We were talking about theater a little bit before, and that was actually very good advice from my brother one time.
Theater.
Because my brother does a lot of theater, and he bumped into somebody famous, and he mentioned some like off-Broadway play they were in, and the person was like so happy that no one ever brings that up. And he's like, that's the ticket. You got to remember, if there's
cuts.
celebrities that you live near that you would really want to talk to, if you ever bump into them, find some super obscure thing that they were in. They're like, I saw you when you were in the Groundlings. I saw you when you were in some 99-seat theater thing in Seattle. Like, oh, well, and then, you just fake it. And like,
Fake it.
Your accent was really great. Like, I didn't have an accent in that play. Well, whatever. It was nice meeting you. So really quick, I thought it was funny. I was chatting with you before, and you were like, is there any specific topic we're going to talk about on the show? And I don't want to weigh down any GT Live with any one topic, but you specifically mentioned pancakes and whiskey, and we've covered the pancakes, and we've talked a lot about whiskey, but just when you mentioned that, I thought that was really funny, because it's like hard liquor is not something that comes up, not only on this show, but not in general gaming conversations. Hard liquor does come up when I'm at events, but people don't generally talk about it when it comes to actually playing games. And some streamers do like to booze it every now and then.
I have an arsenal of friends that we are called the Whiskey Kids, and
Wow.
I think we definitely try to make it
Officially or unofficially? You just call yourself that, or you have like business cards that
Oh
say-
no, we probably should make business cards, but yeah, we get together before events and we try to kind of like bond, get back into the groove like right before a show, and and just catch up over whiskey.
But specifically gaming, like when you're playing
Whiskey
a game.
and gaming, yeah, well, because it helps with the edge sometimes, especially if you're playing like a horror game. I have a hard time with horror games, so I need a lot of whiskey just to just help me come over pressing start, because I know that I'm going to be torturing myself through it, and everyone gets entertainment out of it, but I just need the whiskey to just get through it. So
that's why you need
yeah.
to drink, Kyle. Kyle's a big fan of horror games.
Hate
Kyle
horror
plays them all
games.
the time.
Can't handle them. Also can't deal with it.
Well, there you go.
Well, I can say it
Just do
will
shots.
help. You don't need to do shots, like a nice, neat, or just a nice, McCarran. Like, I'll bring some whiskey, we can
Shots.
try it, ease
there-
into it.
There've been a lot of comments that wants to know your favorite whiskey. So while you're doing recommendations, what would you tell chat?
We should have done a tasting. I failed.
I
totally
know.
missed
Well,
the ball
I
on
just
that.
told the
Next
guys,
time you have you guys
I
on.
would have brought my favorite whiskeys, and we would have had them right here on display. And
What would we have seen? Ideally, what's your ideal setup?
I mean, I'm kind
POW
of
flight.
Oh man, I kind of love a lot of things. I'm kind of, I'm also cheap when it comes to whiskey too. I love my Jameson on the rocks. I know that people are like, oh, what? But I sometimes, that's like a quick fix for me. And I just will be like, all right, just give me a Jameson on the rocks. Because, I don't need the most expensive. But if I'm going to splurge, like a McLaren would be kind of nice, over ice. Neat sometimes, depending on what, scotch we're drinking. But yeah, girls, I know a bunch of girls that love drinking whiskey. So never assume if you buy a lady a drink that she doesn't like whiskey. You'll be very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I would ask her what she wants to drink. I'd probably start there.
He's married. Don't even. Brandon, I'm not comfortable with that conversation, man. I don't like.
But guys, apparently when we colonize Mars, then that eliminates racism.
What?
What are you talking about?
There's
goodness.
racism?
We did it.
In the 26th century, we eliminate racism by
So
colonizing
26, and what
Mars.
is that? That's 500 years from now? Wow. That's not too long to wait, I guess.
No.
I mean, at least we're getting there.
Progress.
Blood. What happened there, man?
It just says demographic redistribution and the colonization of Mars, events in which all ethnic groups were forced to participate, helped reduce racism. Today it is almost non-existent.
Wow,
So
almost.
so the government basically killed racism by forcing everybody all together.
I guess.
You know what's like one of my favorite paintings ever is the Tower of Babel.
Whoa.
Just stupid. That was a-
Whiskey Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
The Tower of Babel. You can't stop there, Kyle.
I just love that story. I love the idea of just like a united, like everyone on Earth is united. Everybody speaks the same language. Everyone loves each other. Everyone sees each other as equals. They build a tower to heaven, and God is like, nope. Here's different languages for everybody. You're gonna fight forever because if you all work together, you would build a tower up to heaven. That is insane. How crazy is that?
That should be a video game.
Yeah. That racism exists so we can't
It
get
might
to
be.
heaven.
I can't remember.
We
So we
should just all eat pizza and whiskey, and I think everyone would be friends.
I like where this episode is heading.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's say that's what, she said, is there any specific topic? And I'm like, you don't want to bog it down with a topic, you know?
Yeah.
Just
we're
really
getting
quickly.
into God invented racism.
Right.
basically is.
Yeah.
Just really quick, I was reminded today of Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones. I was in a emergency preparedness meeting for the building that we just moved into.
Yeah.
And we were talking about our location in Los Angeles and where we're at if a major earthquake hit. We were like, well, we would need Tommy Lee Jones. And I remembered the ending of that movie. Anybody remember the ending of Volcano? Did you ever see that? Volcano.
Yes. I only remember the guy from the Drew Carey show holding a body and just melting in lava as he just.
Oh, right. Yeah, there was that. Yeah, that's right. And then he throws it. It wasn't
talking
the ending,
about
though.
Yeah. That's all.
That was a horrific moment. Thank you for recalling that, Kyle. But that was not the ending. In the end, ash falls on everybody, and everyone's all dirty with ash. And then, right when your brain's like, oh, they're kind of making a point about equality and racism. That like everybody looks the same. Everybody has
didn't
the
pick
same
up on
skin
that,
color.
man. Yeah.
Like the little kids, like everyone looks the same. And you're like, no. Kind of were setting up a nice moment in this dumb action movie, and then they just
Made it overt.
squashed it.
Yeah.
Thanks, kid.
Like the
much.
Lego movie. Yeah.
But it's a possibly beautiful moment if you want to dig up both Punchline and Volcano. We recommend here on GT Live. We're wrapping up the show. It is time for questions if you're ready. Are you ready, pal?
Let's do it, yeah.
I've seen some good questions coming. You've been reading chat the whole time, though. So
Yeah,
you might
I'm
have seen a couple of these flash
Maybe,
by.
yeah, it's going quick in there. Everyone's like, whiskey, Kyle, my God. There's like a lot of
Yeah, we're getting
conversation.
very religious now. in the comments.
Kyle and God, that's about it, yeah.
I appreciate it, everybody. So this is weird. I'm in like a word pad. So for some reason, the questions are very long horizontally today. This is my one job a week, and I blew this. Pao, would you rather have a lifetime supply of pancakes or a 2-week all-inclusive luxury vacation with Godzilla?
Oh, Godzilla. That's my boo right there.
But
I'm
it's
actually.
just 2 weeks. That ends
That's
after 2
fine.
weeks.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a fan. That's
Yeah,
a fan.
Godzilla
really
and I have
getting
a
in
very
there.
special relationship.
Whoa.
Okay.
I'm kind of obsessed
Sure.
with all of them. My favorite thing, my friends, anytime they go to Japan, I'm cheap. Like they can get me like a 5-cent thing from Godzilla, and I think it's like a diamond ring. Like I freak out. I love collecting posters, comics. Obviously, all the movies are fun to watch on a Friday night when you're just like, what are we gonna watch? Oh, I know, Godzilla. I like the new one too, even though some people might not like it. I love that one scene when he brings his giant stumpy foot on the airport and you just finally realize the massive size of him. I can go on and on. I love Godzilla. So yeah, I would
Take that 2-week vacation.
I would date him for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because it says all-inclusive luxury vacation.
Yeah, like us
So it-
getting massages.
it sounds romantic.
Walk on the beaches. I'm all about it.
This is a moment where I'm pissed I can't draw. Because I would just go to town.
in
Just
camera.
imagine him just putting his finger down and you holding the tip.
I imagine for some reason you right here.
Not on the shoulder?
No, I was thinking right here is
Just
where
in
Godzilla would have you.
in the nook.
Yeah,
In the nook.
he would create a nook for you.
All right, yeah, I could see it.
Aw.
It's like more secure. The shoulder you can flop off of too easily when he's stomping around. Like
Okay.
here, I think you'd be safe.
Yeah, I would just love to hear him roar from time to time, just sporadically.
Would you
You
do
know.
Godzilla cosplay? Or is that too much? You don't want to be
Never
Godzilla, you just
seen
like
Godzilla cosplay. I think I would just be floored if I saw that. I don't know about doing it, but if anyone had that on.
Because T-Rex cosplay is all the rage right now.
Oh yeah, the little.
You can't go on YouTube without seeing a T-Rex doing something.
Do you guys have one around?
We don't. But had I known, again, this is the
We
first
should
time.
all get them and just do the show in T-Rex.
Pal, this is the first time we've had you on GT Live. Obviously, the next time you come on GT Live, it's gonna be a completely different scenario.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
be
be-
a
We're gonna
shit
play.
show.
We're gonna be playing the recent Godzilla game. We're gonna have whiskey shots all along the table.
Huber will be in a T-Rex costume.
Huber will be
just
dressed
gonna
up in a
corrupt
T-Rex
this.
outfit. We'll know how to do this right.
Okay.
But this is just the warm up. Yeah,
Okay,
this is just
warm up.
this is the
A little
prequel to the
feeler.
ultimate pancake pie.
I got another. Since this is kind of like an off the rails episode, I got another story.
Fast and loose.
This
boy.
in college, one of my screenwriting classes, like the most serious screenwriting class that you could take. This one guy, and like it's like write whatever you want, and this one guy wanted to write a Godzilla movie, like an authentic one. So it had all the characters that are like just in the Japanese movies, like some fairies and stuff like this. And so
Mothra.
yeah, and so
Yeah.
we had to like critique his Godzilla script as it's any other script. And like I'm pretty sure it was a pretty good Godzilla movie he was writing. Like they went inside of, but at one point they go inside of a cave, and it's like, hey man, Godzilla's not gonna fit in any cave. And he's like, not now. And he totally, it's like, okay, fine, like right, like good Godzilla
But,
script.
but what
man.
if it was like an underwater cave? I mean, we've never discovered like, the sea in like those far depths. I mean, he is a great swimmer, as we've seen in other movies.
He's
yeah.
not gonna fit in a cave. There's no
Really?
cave on Earth that could possibly fit a Godzilla. I mean, you know more about Godzilla than I do. Do you know who the
He ain't no
fairies are?
kaiju, but
Do you know-
he's not that. I mean, he's not that big as some kaiju you would think.
But do they live in caves? I just assume they like.
Some are like land, some are water.
All right. I don't want to be mean to that guy's script. I probably was
What
a
did
good
you
Godzilla
say?
script. We like by the end we kind of like said, this dialogue doesn't sound right, and he's like, it's right. You know what I mean? Like it's like fine. It's like,
Kind of reminds me of talking to you about your show, Kyle.
Oh.
Just like, I don't know, Kyle. This doesn't mean like, well, in the Bosman universe, it all like, oh, okay. But,
Oh, someone said Godzilla
mindset.
underwear. That makes me so happy.
oh, damn. All right.
what is your go-to game to chill out to? That's from Swordfish.
Ooh,
The last question was from Hashtagonist, by the way. I don't think I said
Oh.
that.
great question.
He does his homework.
To chill out with, just like on a,
Streams off.
streams off.
This is you time. This is
Camera's
me
not
time.
rolling.
Yeah.
You're tense. You've had a bad day.
Yeah.
You just want to forget about the world.
It's weird to say this, but sometimes the RPGs seem to be like the way to go. Dragon Age was one of them that I would just like to go back to from time to time when I was just like, I don't fucking care. I'm just gonna go and pick flowers and shit. And Witcher is kind of the same thing. I'm just gonna get on my horse and try to kill monsters and stuff and try to, test the limits with powers. But yeah, RPGs tend to be the ones that I kind of go off and, go offline, I guess. So yeah.
Destiny's serious business. Whenever you're in Destiny,
Well, no,
you're playing for
I'll
keeps.
go. With Destiny, I do more of the raids off, because they're kind of like, the same thing. You're going through like the challenge mode and everything. Nothing changes when you do a raid, unless there's some new strategy. Someone's like, oh, I know what to do, and it's faster this way. But my fire teams that I run with, they've tried them all. So I just try to go to help out if someone needs like, good drops. I never get good drops, so I just do it just for fun.
Never
It's-
ever.
It's very rare that I get good drops in Destiny. I still love the game, but it's rare that I just don't have good luck in certain games. Have you ever felt that? Like you just
yeah.
don't have any luck, and even though I love the game, I just don't get good drops.
There are only two
Hoping
hunters
for
in my
Iron
Warcraft
Banner.
guild, and the other hunter was the wife of our guild leader. And so there were a couple choices made about hunter drops that I was like, all right, fine. I'm not gonna get in between the two of them and argue that. Like,
Sorry,
I
no,
think,
no. There's a level of understanding, and I'm not quite there yet with this World of Warcraft story.
Meaning the hunter drops.
Yeah.
Compared to all the time I played with her,
Yeah.
she got 80% of the hunter drops. And it just kind of always worked out
There's-
that way
there's
with
some
the
people
loot
also-
system we
yeah.
had. It was like, well, you remember you weren't here last week, and I'm like, Okay. I also haven't gotten a hunter piece in 4 months, so maybe for the benefit of the team, it's like, well, she's getting a lot more DPS than you. It's like, well, yeah, her gear score is 300 higher than
And she's
mine,
playing
so
a lot
maybe
more.
we can balance this out a little bit.
Brandon,
Just
that
saying,
is-
I know it might break the rules.
That is a very funny story to me. And,
Tangents
And no, because I know it bothered you
GT
so
Live.
much because you're like, oh, I know she's just the wife
No,
of
no,
that guy.
Salty here.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm just
Salty.
salty I don't get to play World of Warcraft every day. I think that's really it.
Oh God. Oof.
Pao, we got a softball here. A softball serious question. This is from Kyugi. With all the mainstream media exposure that esports is receiving in mainstream media, do you think that this is a sign of esports becoming mainstream, or is it just a bubble that will eventually burst?
Uh-oh.
Well, I feel like esports is like not going anywhere. Obviously, the momentum of it is just a giant tsunami wave. And, you know, even once the wave is gone, it will still flood the shit out of everything. You can see it because giant networks like ESPN are coming along. You have the WB that's hosting a show on a giant network for Mortal Kombat. Like, there's just tons of things. And this is just the beginning. I think we're just setting up to ease people into it. And then it's just going to be all over, that people are just going to be subjected to it. And it's going to be like every day. Like grandma will know about esports and he'll be like, all right, whatever, you know? So I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's going to grow. I think it's kind of like that, what do you call it? The dark horse in video games. And I think people have been feeling it for a while. They just didn't want to admit it. So I'm excited. I love esports. I can't wait for Evo. I've never been. I really want to go. Just even.
I really wanna go,
I
yeah.
want to go as a spectator and just
No.
eat popcorn and drink whiskey and just like throw shit and be like excited. You
So
know.
this is what's crazy is they just announced yesterday they're going to be at a stadium for the finals.
There you go. That shows you.
They're going to be esports.
No, they
Yeah.
were in a
Evo's
little
gonna be-
conference area
Yeah.
before, like little
Yeah.
conference room, and
Yeah.
now look what's happening. People are seeing the potential here, I think.
I'm
Well,
pretty
some.
stoked. Yeah, and because like Evo isn't a traditional. I mean, fighting games aren't normally like when you think of esports, you don't think of fighting games. I think you.
No, you do.
Okay.
There is a huge community.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I'm excited for them to be like into
Highlighted.
that. Yeah, exactly. Because to me, that's way more fun to watch, to be honest, than League of Legends. I love watching fighting games,
Sure.
and then just like MOBA, it's to me like just watching two people pummel each other. Is so clear. The action is so clear in those scenes in a fighting game.
Well, like,
It's
you
easier to
know,
follow,
like
I
the Red
guess.
Bull Destiny event, like people didn't think that something like PvE would be something fun to watch, but in the end, we got a lot of commentary back, on Reddit, on the subreddit for Destiny, and people were like, wow, I didn't even know you could do a strike like that, and I think it's just challenges people. There is a little bit of, jumping outside your comfort zone when it comes to esports, because I think people traditionally don't find it entertaining, but if you watch like some Smash games or like fighting games, League games, Call of Duty games, like they get crazy. And towards the end of the finals, like it's anybody's game, and these people are athletes. Like I have a lot of respect for them.
Were emotions high at the Red Bull PvE Destiny thing?
Yeah,
How are people handling it?
I think, I talked to a lot of the guys. Actually, I recently played with some of them the other night. We were doing some Iron Banner stuff, and you could tell that they got the bug, like that competitive, like what's it like to have all eyes on you and have like your community try to support you. And, they're college kids, but in the end, you're also seeing colleges sponsor players. So there's kind of all these sectors with esports, right? And there's like a level of like, holy shit, this is like a for real business. And huge companies are looking into this and investing, and they're smart.
Yeah, I mean, if there's money to be made, it's not going to go away. That bubble won't burst.
No.
Yeah.
So, Blood, I've noticed your traps have changed from red lava to green lava. Has that
Oh my
drastically
God,
affected the
what has
gameplay?
happened?
No, I just did this crazy thing with these big heavy boxes, but
What happens if you touch it?
if I touch it, I'm sure it just die. Yeah.
Oh,
One more.
so sad.
One more.
I thought you would
Yeah.
like turn all green and stuff.
Oh, yeah, green would just like go or like
Yeah,
drizzle down
just-
from the top of the screen.
Very dramatic, but no.
Oh my gosh, this game. I always want to be like supportive, of a new game, but like that, I feel like if I can give you some criticisms, your
Game.
this screenshot just looks gross.
Why?
Because of the green, because of the way it glows.
Slime?
Yeah. I don't know.
Is it because you don't want to touch it? Like, is it grossing you out or something?
That's like good design if you don't want to touch the slime. It means like, I guess they're communicating to us well.
This is Dirty Portal.
Dirty Portal.
Portal.
If they just named it Dirty
Even though there
Portal.
are no portals in this, right? No portals yet.
No portals that I've seen. It's all about gravity.
I'm sorry, I got another very serious question for you.
Oh,
This is
yes.
from Joetown17. With the rise of consumerism of nerd culture in the last few years, we have seen things become jobs that people may never have assumed that would exist before, such as esports hosts or professional cosplayers. Where do you see these job opportunities going forward in the future, and do you think they will be influenced by Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door?
Well, that's an awesome ending.
We
there.
did it.
How do I answer this?
You almost had it, Kyle.
Well, obviously the nerd culture, I think now it's safe to say that it's almost commercial to be a cool gamer, or be a nerd. It's actually finally cool. Like, we don't have to get beat up or made fun of. And I think everyone deep down wants to be a gamer, but the real gamers have always been gamers. We didn't never have to show it off. And I think with cosplay or any nerd culture, they've always been that way. And now there's just more to offer. I think there's enough for everyone. There's great upcoming talent that I see all the time. YouTubers, streamers, cosplayers. I'm just like blown away sometimes by these people's work. I get tagged a lot on stuff and I'm just like, oh my God, like you just made my day by this like image, and it's beautiful. I think we need to like stick together, and don't let society and media like penetrate our bubble. Like, this is our time, it's a fucking time to be a nerd, right? We got movies, comics, video games, like clothing. Like, you don't go anywhere without seeing a Star Wars something, Like, I was walking down Venice on like this Abbot Kinney, which is like very hobo chic, you see all the movie stars, and there was like a wall display of like hobo chic Star Wars like get up, and I was like, what the hell?
No, what does that look
man?
like? You have to explain what hobo chic Star Wars looks like.
This street is walking
It's like-
distance from my house, so
Right,
I've never
now
heard
you're gonna-
hobo chic. Actually, I love
Oh,
this.
you're gonna see it
So
and
wait,
you're
you
gonna laugh.
live in fancy Hollywood movie star zone? Is that where this is?
Close
Venice?
to it, yeah.
Venice
That's
has
where
got
Jones lives in like movie star central?
Ronda Rousey lives in Venice. There's a bunch of people that I've seen
Whoa.
that lives in Venice.
Okay, look at Jones over here.
Hobo
All right.
chic.
It is hobo chic. I don't know. I was just like, it just kind of made me
See,
think.
that's the style, Kyle.
So
that's the style
what I mean
that
is
I
it
have.
like a
You're
like a
mistaken.
Boba Fett poncho that's like a little grody? Is that what we're
Dude, I'm
talking
telling you, it was like a kind of beat up leather jacket with a fade out Star Wars logo and like skinny jeans and
Like a
some-
hemp belt.
Yeah, and then you had the little baby display with like their little cute Star Wars thing with like this crazy like hobo beanie, and I was just like, oh my God. So there's a point where you gotta laugh, right?
Oh,
you gotta,
sure.
you
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
laugh. But you gotta love places like Target that
Yeah.
go and they have like stuff that's affordable for people, which I think it's great. I think that everyone has you can feel great about what you look like and not spend $1 million.
But how does all this tie into Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door?
Paper Mario.
Yeah.
Paper Mario.
And the Thousand-Year Door specifically for the Nintendo GameCube.
Yeah.
I don't know. How does it?
To me,
It's a tough question,
I think
really.
the
I'm really
influence of-
I'm stumped here.
Yeah, I think the influence of Thousand Year Door, I don't know. I think it's had waves. It didn't when it launched. It wasn't huge, but I think today it has a greater impact than when it came out. I just think that maybe not in fashion so much, but definitely.
I mean, cultural commentary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Excellent question. I'm afraid we have to wrap it up. Maybe one more.
One
One
more.
more question. Make it a good one.
Ooh, okay. Here we go. No, this one's actually a question. Let's do like an actual question here. This is from Ahab.
As opposed to the other ones.
What's your interest in the various VR offerings? Are you excited about the potential for esports? Is $600 for an Oculus Rift too much, considering the required specs for the Rift? Can PlayStation VR possibly compare?
Wow, that's lots of questions.
I'll just generally say like VR is, one of those things that unless you've tried it, you can't really understand the power of it. I've been fortunate enough to try all of them, and the Hive, is it the Hive? I'm totally blanking out.
Vive?
The Vive.
The Vive.
HTC.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
Vive.
know
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking
HTC
Beehive.
Vive.
I'm thinking like Beehive in my head.
It's like HTC and yeah.
I think
Hive.
that one was my favorite one to try. I felt like it was the strongest out of the candidates, and the games are interesting. I think that there's a lot of potential, and of course it's going to cost a lot of money. When the new consoles came out, or any console came out when it it first debuted, it was like, oh my God, it's so expensive. But I think for people who are in our culture, I think investing in something like this is not a big deal. Now, I think some of them will end up being a little bit more expensive depending on the bundles that they offer. Like perhaps, it'll come with extra controllers or 2 games or something like that. But I think it's, I think the Vive was my fave.
So you're in.
I'm in. Yeah, I'm totally in.
You're
yeah.
going to pick one up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's already.
So the weird thing is, though, like, you can't stream it. Maybe you could.
No, you can. I've seen streamers do VR stuff.
So you're planning on doing that in the future?
I don't know if I would stream it because I'm so clumsy.
Yeah.
That, when they announced, like, the Rock Band and, like, the VR, I was like, that is a terrible idea because I would be the one who would smash the shit out. My dog would accidentally get kicked, I would have to be, like, quarantined, and I don't know about that, but, like, there's certain games, like puzzle games. I think horror games will definitely be one of the cool thing to see because those, mess with your senses and stuff like that, and something where you're just completely surrounded, it's kind of great. It's good stuff. But again, I think there's a lot of people who we have a long way to go because some people are really sensitive to VR. They get motion sickness. I'm very lucky. I don't get it. But I played Valkyrie, and that kind of did turn my stomach just a little bit because you're like almost feeling like that G-force where you're kind of flipping upside down and you're looking but you're moving the opposite way.
Yeah.
So that kind of gave me the little tingle, but it wasn't like enough to like completely be like, oh, I'm not trying this anymore.
I don't know, man. This dog kicking stream, I think we're onto something. I think if you had like a separate camera on you in the room and just maybe had another friend with like a light pen or something.
That's dark.
Having the dog kind of just make patterns
evil,
randomly
man.
across
That's
the
too
room.
dark for me.
And then you can't see the dog, but you got to play Street Fighter.
Look, we do bits here, but that's too dark for me.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying we're gonna do it. I'm not saying let's roll video of a dog getting kicked. But I'm just saying.
Things around, like maybe
Right?
like
Kicking dogs?
a crazy
Kicking
room, or
dogs?
Ian, you like the idea? What?
I was on my phone, but are we kicking dogs or what's the deal?
We're talking about possibly planning events in which the possibility exists of dogs getting lightly kicked.
How lightly?
I don't know. That's not the right question.
Okay, thank you so much for watching this episode of GT Live. I'm gonna talk a little bit about other stuff coming to game shows this week. Unfortunately, I don't see any dog kicking on this list, but we do have lots of fun stuff happening. Let's talk about our stream schedule. It's actually pretty stacked this week.
Yeah.
We've had lots of double streams. We got 2 games streaming tomorrow, 2 games streaming on Friday. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. I'm playing Darkest Dungeon, which we have not given enough love at all at Game Trailers, and I feel very bad about that. I really wanted to review that. All sorts of games came in this week. But this game needs to be played. You guys need to play this game. Mr. Ben Moore is going to sit down with me, and we're going to make our way through probably not the Darkest Dungeon, but some dungeons in that game. Super Mario RPG full playthrough Part 3 kicks in immediately following the Darkest Dungeon tomorrow night. Friday at 4 p.m., the GT crew, it says, which maybe all of us, maybe only a handful of us, depending on how sick everyone is and who shows up on Friday. We'll be playing the beta for The Division. And on Friday, Mr. Ben Moore at 6 p.m. Sorry?
I didn't realize that was on there.
It's happening.
Ben snuck it on the schedule.
Sneaky Ben.
Yeah.
Also, Sneaky Ben will be playing Yakuza Kiwami. I knew about Yakuza 6 and Yakuza 0. I didn't know about Yakuza Kiwami.
Remake.
That is a remake of the first Yakuza game.
Yep. Which also comes with the Yakuza 6 demo.
Yes.
Ben Moore will be sampling that as well. Ben Moore is just going to town.
It's all in Japanese.
I think Ben will be in all 4 streams that I have just mentioned.
Yeah.
As we talked about earlier, our top 10 this week is the top 10 community anticipated games of 2016, picked by you, read by me. The video will go up on Friday.
You did a great job.
Thank you very much. I haven't done it yet, but thank you, Kyle.
No, I was talking to the audience.
They did a good job picking it?
Yeah.
Oh,
but Brandon,
okay.
I mean, you're great at everything you do.
Okay, Kyle. As usual, we got Huber Hype, we got Final Boss, and we got Mandatory Update. Looks like a very emotional Huber Hype. I haven't seen it yet.
Bloodworth just died. We missed a good death.
Yeah.
What
I
happened?
finally got through this
You did the thing,
complicated thing, and then I killed myself.
Speaking of killing himself for his work, Bloodworth made it all the way through The Witness without a walkthrough. I'm really proud of you, Blood.
Not quite.
Not quite? Okay, maybe you had to
That's
ask a
one of
couple
those ones
people.
where
All right.
I wrote the review and I haven't actually quite finished it yet.
Well, thank you for being honest, Blood. I appreciate it. But he reviewed it, and the review is up. And spoiler alert, he
I
liked
put
it.
over 30-something hours into that game.
I am
Nice.
currently working on my review for Lego Marvel's Avengers. We did 2 trailer scores this week for the badass trailer you just saw, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan, the announced trailer, and the super weirdo Super Bowl spot for Pokemon 20. We weighed in on. Some people love it, some people don't like it. I wonder which one we were. Nintendo's, according to Ben Moore, is having the year of the RPG, and he sat down with some people to discuss this topic.
That's actually according to Nintendo.
I'm one of
they
those
came
people.
up with that idea.
So thank you, Ben, for doing that discussion. We also have a discussion for Strike Vector EX. Were you on that video, Kyle?
No.
No, that was Matt and Huber.
But I was on a video because the game I was going to review before Lego Marvel's Avengers was Final Fantasy Explorers, and then I decided, no, I don't want to review this game because that would involve me playing it for 2-3 times the amount of time I'd already put into the game, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So Brad and I sat down, discussed our frustrations with Final Fantasy Explorers, not to just rant on the game, but if you guys are considering it, or maybe on the fence, check out the video. And,
Great title.
Don't take our exploring is boring.
Yeah.
Don't take our opinions and make them your own. Just kind of look at it from our perspective and then decide if that not as good as a review, but if that game is your type of thing. When does your podcast go up, Pal?
So it's a weekly podcast. So after our big announcement on Friday, we will be back to our regular scheduled program, and we will be having our weekly podcast. So,
But this Friday, big announcement.
This Friday, we're having a big announcement, and it's really exciting. You can go find it at pancakepow.com. Go see some of the archive episodes. We've had great talks about all sorts of shenanigans. So
Yeah, just follow you on Twitter. You'll probably announce it there
you
if
can
you want
follow
to
me
get all
on
the
Twitter
updates.
too. Bug me, or a lot of people have like questions about random stuff. I like to answer as many people as I can about things. So
Any fun hosting gigs or appearances you got coming up?
I
that people
got
should
some
know?
stuff in the pipeline. It's kind of like the
All
calm
secrets.
before the storm. We got GDC come in
Yep.
and like just certain events that I'm kind of prepping for. So yeah.
Cool. So cool. Reasons to follow. Stuff coming up. Announcements.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We're days away from big announcements. I'm excited.
What are you streaming soon?
So The Witness is going to be tonight. Tonight's the
Okay,
stream.
cool.
So you can follow me at PancakePow TV, and we'll be streaming. It'll probably end up morphing into something else. I don't know what. It's sometimes depending on the mood of what we're all into and what we want to see. But we have quite a few games, new games that I'll be playing, and The Witness being one of them. So
Cool.
yeah.
Thank you, Blood, for putting up with this game. What do you think, man? I mean, we called this game dirty names. We joked about the way lava looks.
Yeah.
We said lots of potentially negative things about this game. Who's this game for, Blood? If you could recommend this game to somebody, just people like puzzle games.
Yeah, I mean, it's an alright puzzle game. It's definitely a Portal clone. Not a great idea to put it out right at the same time.
Yeah,
as
right
The
after Witness. Yeah.
If you're gonna pick one,
You're not going to play this
pick
before The Witness, and you might not play it after. But I don't know. The year is young. Maybe this is a game that resurfaces later in the year. I don't know if we're going to be talking about it when we talk about Best Puzzle Game, but it is an interesting looking game, and it is available right now if you guys want to go check it out. Thank you, Blood, for putting up with this game. Thank you, Ian, for being yourself and being wonderful. Your nails look lovely.
Thank
and
you,
Pal,
Brandon.
thank you so much for being on the show.
Guys, thanks for having me.
It was wonderful to chat about all this stuff. This is, I am not a whiskey drinker, but like, I want some whiskey now. I want to go home and pour a glass and watch you play The Witness, and that'll be my evening. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Kyle, for getting my community.
Dude, I was thinking you were not going to thank me. You were like thanking everybody else, and you're like, and finally, thank you, pal. And I was like, hey, come on, man. I got you back up.
And finally,
Hey, there
Thank
were
you, Kyle.
months. There were months where he never thanked the booth over here.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Ooh.
So I
So,
should feel thankful even to have that late thank you.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
And you know what?
Take what you can get.
I think we should all say thanks to Brandon, who's done a great job.
Oh, yeah,
tonight.
okay, great. Hey, you know who I want to thank?
Just raise your glass to Brandon
Okay,
Jones.
you know who I want to thank? I want to thank the users who got no codes this week and still asked some excellent questions.
Yeah, actually, great
We have a
questions
really
this
great
week.
community around
Absolutely.
the show, and appreciate you guys checking in every episode to watch. Thank you, pal. We look forward to having you, maybe some E3 coverage, maybe streaming with us, maybe on another episode of GT Live in the future.
Yeah, we'll be around.
Looking forward to big news on Friday, and we'll see you next Wednesday, guys. Thanks for watching.